On the 6th Sunday of Christmas, Sharon shared with me a cute little favor idea. This will hold a couple of Hershey nuggets, several Andes candies, mints, lots of different things. You can even put on a little roof if you want to. That's very easily removed. Or you can make this a true box with a box top, lid, and base. Let's see how it's done. All right, let's get our stamping taken care of first. I'm going to bring in a scrap piece of pecan pie cardstock, and I will bring in the Humble Home Gingerbread House image. I've recently begun storing my Embossing Editions toolkit in a paper pumpkin box, because then I can just grab it and go, because I frequently have to take it to classes. But it holds, you know, my powders. Now I do have a separate tray for my metallics. This is my basics one. I use white a lot, and so I just kind of have a white tray so that the white powder, it doesn't all clean off all the time. So rather than have some white specks in all my metallics, I just keep them separated. But you don't have to. You can just be better about cleaning them. Contains my embossing buddy, a Versamark pad. This is a black tray. The Embossing Editions toolkit now comes with a gray tray. I've just had this forever. All right, let's take our embossing buddy and just run this over. That'll make sure that the powder sticks to where it's supposed to, and that's it. I'll be showing you a couple different variations of this project. So I am going to stamp this house twice and emboss it. All right, might as well get both of them taken care of right now. And you can be very liberal when you're pouring off that powder. That's one of the reasons why I really love the Embossing Editions toolkit, because it's going to catch all that, and then it makes funneling it back into the jar really easy, not messy. So we'll put the cover back on, and we'll put my toolkit away. Love having everything right at my fingertips, all organized. I mean, this is one of the few things that's organized in my stamp room right now. If only you could see. All right, let's get out our heat tool. And for best results, just go ahead and let it warm up for just a minute, and then you're gonna aim it at your cardstock. Remember, at an angle. You don't want to put it straight on. You want to put it at an angle, and when you see the embossing powder turn a bright, shiny white, like it is right now, you move it along to the next section. If you stay in a section too long, it's going to melt into the cardstock and then not look as pretty. So one is done. You can do a lot of these in a very little bit of time, because there's no coloring involved here. That's what I really like about the gingerbread one. All right, we'll bring in the Humble Home punch, and unfortunately, as you found out on Friday, if you were watching my Friday Night Live, this is out of stock until December 2nd. So I already had this planned, so I'm sorry that I might be teasing some of you with it. I know some of you do have it already, though. So you'll be able to do this project. I think the punch will go on beyond this mini. I mean, I have no real reason for saying that, other than the fact that, you know, this is for Christmas, but not all the stamps in there are Christmassy. This isn't Christmassy, and you can have a solid colored house with a different colored roof and doors and windows. That can be just a welcome home kind of thing, or a housewarming card. You can do all sorts of things with that. It doesn't have to be just Christmas. All right, we're going to set this aside. I will keep my punch out though, because I need to punch a couple other pieces. All right, and here's why. When I'm making my project, there's going to be a front of the house and a back of the house. If I were to say, have them both embossed and turn them around like this, you can see that the chimney, it's on two different sides. You don't want that. You want them to kind of line up, have the same sort of silhouette. So I can't emboss this one, but if I flip it over, look at that. So this is going to be the back side of my house, but it's the inside of the box. And this is going to be the front. All right. Now let's bring in a piece of pecan pie again. And we need to cut one that is 3 5/16 by 3 5/16. This is going to give us the little box base that holds our little treats. So a 16th on the imperial scale, the side with the inches, is a tick mark. So every little mark is a 16th. So there's 3. If I go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 marks over, that is 5/16. So I'm going to cut that, and then I'm going to turn it. And I want to do 3 5/16 again. So there's my 1, 2, 3, 4, 5/16. So this is 3 5/16 by 3 5/16. Now I'm going to push this over to the 1 inch mark here, and I'm going to score it 1 inch all the way around. So that's one side, 2 sides. I think that's off a little bit. There we go. 3 sides and 4 sides. Set our trimmer aside here. Very easy box bottom here. I'm going to burnish this just so you can see the lines a little bit better. I tend to cut on them before they're burnished and do that afterwards, but you can certainly do it before. And so I think you can see the lines a little bit better now. I'm going to cut up one of those vertical lines, then I'm going to miter in a little bit. So I'm just taking off a little bit of an angle. That's going to help my box be really pretty at the end, because it's going to compensate for any unevenness in scoring that may have happened. Again, a little miter cut here, and you're not taking much off here. You're just taking a very slight angle off. We're not going to do this on all 4 sides. We're just going to do it on opposite sides. So I'm going to rotate it 180 degrees and do the same thing again. Up on the straight to that first line, miter and miter. Some people call it an angle cut. Same thing. All right. Now all we need to do is bring in our adhesive. I'm going to be using the glue because you know I like it. You can also use tear and tape, or you can use Seal Plus. I wouldn't use just regular seal because you're going to be putting some nuggets in here, which are kind of heavy. Now along this line here, this score line, I need glue just set in a little bit from that. I don't want it right on the line or right up against the line, because I don't want it to ooze out when I put this together. So this straight side that was not cut, not ever angle cut, I'm going to put in here. And I want to make sure that goes right up nicely against that, that score line. Same thing over here. Make sure I get it in a little bit. I'm running out of glue. Running out of glue. Gonna need some more. I do have plenty more. That annoying cat, Crash, is trying to get in. Some of you at my class today heard my story about Crash. He begs to come in, and then when I open the door to let him in, he runs off. Who's got time for those kind of games, right? Now, this last one, I'm getting a little tight in here when I start, you know, when I fold this one in, and this one's a little bit tougher to do, so I'll put the adhesive on both of these at the same time. Plus, it'll be easier since my glue will be running already. I'm just going to put them both on both of those flaps, and I'll try to deal with them about at the same time. But the important thing is that you want that straight edge aligned on both sides. And that's one of the things I really love about glue, is that you've got a little bit of time to make it just right before it sets up. You got that little wiggle room time, is what I call it. So here we have a nice little box bottom. If I take my gingerbread house, now remember, this is going to be the front, and I said this, match these up, this is going to be the back, that's where the box goes. And this is a square box, so it doesn't matter which side you put glue on. All right, we're gonna just put that there. And we're gonna make sure that it's centered and the bottom is lined up here. So I can see that one side's sticking over a little bit. And I did want the house to be, this punch to be just a tad bit wider anyways, because it hides things that don't need to be seen. And now we're going to put this right on the front. So a lot of times we've had punches with shapes that we turn into little treat holders, and I had not played with this one yet, but I did see that somebody had turned this into a house or a little treat holder, like a 3D project. And I thought, oh, I'm going to do that for my Sunday video. So when I went to see if somebody had already, you know, found the dimensions and stuff, I found this Canadian demonstrator, and her name is Rachel Aziamati. Sorry if I butchered her name. She spoke in French. Her measurements were in metric, but I converted them as close as I could. Found something that really worked, and did this. And then, so I'm going to show her project in a second, but you can leave it just like this and go ahead and put some of your treats in there. So if I took 2 Hershey Nuggets, for instance, these fit in here. Some peppermints would be great, because I'm going to put a peppermint right here on the door, on the door where the heart is. But really, really cute and easy project. Let me get my little peppermints out, and I'll put one of those on there. I'm just going to take one of the little peppermints, slide it right over that heart. Looks like I had a hair on my stamp when I was making this. That is a definite hair mark. The hair got on the stamp, got put into the Versamark, stayed on the stamp, and has that little mark. But isn't that cute? Now, if you want to hide this, you can take a piece of cardstock, same color as the house. And I want it to be, about 4 1/8, I think. 4 1/8 inches. I think 4 1/8 works. I'm going to score it at 7/8 because the side is 1 inch high, and so there's a thickness of cardstock in there already. So I want to make sure I'm compensating for that. So I'm making it less than 1 inch so it doesn't go above where it needs to. And then I'm going to turn it and do 7/8 on the other side. And then I'm going to score it in half. So this is 4 1/8, so 2 1/16. So one little tick mark past the 2 is halfway. So this is the easy version to make something that looks like a house without a, that has a roof. It's always nice to have a roof on your house. Oh, you know what? I forgot. I think I cut this at 1 3/8, but it has to be a little bit smaller than 1 3/8. It needs to be like 1 1/4. I'll fix that in the, by the time you see this, I will have fixed it in the comments of the video. But again, because this is 1 3/8 inches wide, I need it to come in a little bit to compensate for the cardstock that's making up that. And so if you put that in there, then you've got this little roof that hides your candy, but it's very easy to take off. Okay. Easy to take off, easy to put in. No extra glue. Now, what if you want something that's like this, but it's a little bit more of a surprise box, so that it's not really just, oh, I take off this little flap. What if I want to truly make it a box? Well, that's where Rachel's directions came in. Before I saw, there's another demonstrator, Sharon, I think her name is. That's who gave me this idea for this kind of roof. All right, well, I've already got a box bottom made right here because I knew I was going to be doing this again. And remember, I made another one of these and I have another one of these. So that's great. To make a cover for this box, a really closed cover, we're going to begin with a piece of pecan pie that measures 4 3/8 by 3 3/8. We'll bring our trimmer back in. Let me get some of this out of the way here. Bring our trimmer back in, and we want to score at 1 inch on all the sides, just as we did before. So 1 inch, 1 inch, 1 inch, and 1 inch. All right. And then on this long side, we want to score down the middle here at the halfway point. So because this was 4 3/8 inch long, half of 4 is 2, and half of 3/8 is 3/16. So 2 and 1, 2, 3/16. So if you just remember that each little tick mark is a 16th, just count, and you'll be where you need to be. Again, let's go ahead. Ooh, glad that's on the inside. We'll go ahead and burnish on all our score lines. And there's that halfway one right here. All right. This is definitely more involved, and you're probably not going to do this for every favor around your holiday table, unless your holiday table has only 3 or 4 people around it. But if you want something special, perhaps you're going to give a piece of jewelry to a grandchild, or maybe you know someone who is proposing to his fiancée and would like a really cool surprise box that she's not going to suspect that has a diamond ring in it. Well, this is what you could do. We're going to do something similar. We are going to cut up in here, but I'm going to miter on both sides of this cut line. So I'm not cutting straight up. I'm mitering both just a little bit. And in the center one, I'm going to miter even more. So it's a bigger angle that I'm cutting off. I might even do a little bit more. I'm not doing it halfway, so it doesn't cut in halfway in this amount, but it does cut a significantly bigger triangle. Okay. I'm going to rotate it again and do the same thing. And I don't have to worry about some of these other pieces. Again, I might as well just do this one as I'm going along. This one's the bigger one. And this is a little one. Little big, little big. Let's go ahead and miter just these edges just ever so slightly. I hear a crash now bugging my husband. Crash gave up on me, so he went over to him. All right. Now, you would think that you might start by go ahead and putting this box together. Well, first of all, we want to put some finger holds in our box. And you can do that a number of different ways. If you have a very small circle punch, which I do from a long time ago, long time ago, you can go ahead and just punch a little semicircle on these sides right here. Okay, so little finger hold marks. If you don't have that, maybe you have another kind of punch, like this little star punch would work. Let me show you. Let me take a little scrap paper here. If I just put this in the end here, like it's not a semicircle, but it's a place where I can put my thumb in there and grab the layer that's underneath it. So you can make use of anything. I mean, you can even just angle cut if you want to. I do like the semicircle look. I would not suggest using dies because dies take a lot of time, and this is just a small little thing. All right, so now what we're gonna do is we're not gonna try to form the box yet. We need to bring in our gingerbread. I like to start on the left-hand side. So this is going to turn up and our box is going to be something like this. You can see the little peak coming together. I'm going to start by attaching this little flap to my base. I'm going to line it up. You know what? If I had left that unmitered, it probably would be better. I would just be able to line up this side and the bottom, and I'd be really good to go. But as it is, I'm just lining up this side of the house. And now I'm going to come up here, apply a little bit more glue to this flap. And I want the point up here to become the point of the house. So you'll have to get in there and hold it with your fingers just a little bit. Doesn't take long to set up. That one at the bottom slipped a little bit, I think, but that's all right. Now, because it gets tight in here, I'm going to do both of these at the same time. I'm going to put my glue on. I got it where I didn't want it a little bit, but that's all right. I'm going to come down here along the edge and then bring this edge in. Whoop, slipped. All right, there we go. So you just want to make sure that this edge of the house lines up with that fold line and everything else kind of falls into place. So we had that all attached. And then we have to do the other side. Now remember, where you want it glued. You want the chimney to be on the same side as the chimney on the opposite end. So we'll start here. Put that on. Line it right up. I want it to go right to the base. Then you're going to add your glue to the next flap. Ooh, it might be a little bit too much glue. And you want the point to come up to the center. Let that set up for just a second. It really doesn't take very long. Then we're going to be adding glue to both of these pieces here, because as I said before, it gets tight in there. So it's hard to do that last flap if you haven't already put the glue on it. Bring that down and bring this over kind of at the same time. And we've got our box top. It's totally closed in. I thought Rachel was genius when she did this. Rachel Aziamati did not understand a single thing she said, even though I grew up 1.5 miles from Canada and all my friends spoke Canadian. My grandmother was at least half French Canadian, I think. So you'd think I'd know it, but I don't. And so that fits right over there very nicely. And so we've got these finger holes that can help us take that box bottom out. Put our little treats in. Andy's candies, Hershey's nuggets, peppermints for after dinner. Cute, 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 cute. Got to add in our little peppermint on the door, a little peppermint wreath. That's why peppermints would really be good inside too here after dinner. And there we have it. And that is Sunday number 6. I hope you enjoyed this 12 Sundays of Christmas tutorial. I would love to share the written PDF with you. All you need to do is sign up for my email list. The link is in the description of the video. You can find that below. You might have to click the word more. And by signing up, you will get that delivered to your inbox Monday, maybe Tuesday. So thanks for watching. I hope you have a great week ahead of you.